Good evening. Hello from Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. How you doing? So today is Monday, December 30th, 2019, and the time is approximately 2 minutes after 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I wanted to do something, I'm sorry. Before anything else, let me acknowledge my newest YouTube channel subscriber, Thomas Rolls. Welcome to the YouTube channel of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. Ironically, there is no fan on, but there's plenty of lighting. Both the studio lighting and the Yule tree lighting. So, over the years, I've always had like a love, not too crazy about your relationship with making predictions for the new year. You know, I have some issues about it, but every once in a while, I will do it for my clients. Actually, that's not true. I will do it for everyone whose email address I have in my Excite email address book at the time. So now I'm doing it for everybody that watches my YouTube channel, whether they're subscribed or not. So there you go. So what I wanted to do, and I had the opportunity to do this morning, because 2020 numerologically reduces to 4, as in 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4, I wanted to do a 4-card spread. So this is a 4-card spread. Before I show you the cards, I want to show you this gorgeous. Some of you know that I'm a big fan of Wild Child Creations, and I want to have my awesome audio-visual person do a close-up of this beautiful tarot pouch. So I forgot what Ona, who's the owner of Wild Child Creations, calls it, but basically it's designed such that you can wrap it up, and when you're done giving yourself a 3-card or a 4-card reading, you can wrap it up and it has the belts, but on the go, it's perfect. I'm not on the go right now, obviously, but I wanted to show you, I'm going to use one of my personal favorite tarot decks. It's the Robin Wood Tarot. So while I shuffle the deck, I'm going to tell you what each of the 4 cards represent. So, the first card is what you are bringing into 2020 from 2019. And 2 cards already flipped out, so those are the first 2 cards. And then card number 2, what you need to leave behind in 2019. So card number 1 is what you are bringing into 2020. Card number 2, what you need to leave behind in 2019. Number 3, card number 3, biggest challenge of 2020. And card number 4, greatest blessing of 2020. And then of course the bottommost card, which is the final message card. So let me see if 2 more cards jump out as I shuffle for a few more moments. And no, they're just going to peek up over the top. Peek up over the top, yes, okay. Alright, so here we go. Card numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to pull the bottommost card from the deck right now. Set the other cards back in the pouch. And fold it over. And I'm going to have my awesome audio-visual person do a close-up of each card. So, I called upon Isis Fortuna, goddess of the sacred tarot, as I cast these cards. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. If this does not resonate with you, let me know in the comments. Okay, so for everybody, card number 1, what you are bringing into 2020. I'm going to show you the card first. I only do upright cards, so if it's reversed, I'm going to put it upright. Is it upright or reversed? Is it upright or reversed? Thank you, my awesome audiovisual person. I'm so glad it's upright. So what we are bringing into 2020 from 2019. Transformation. Transmutation and transmutation. So anything that's negative in your life right now, anyone who's negative in your life right now, and it's funny because normally I would recommend throwing them into the fire, because fire at its core represents purification, but throw them into the ocean. And I say the ocean because remember, the ocean is filled with salt water. So throw them in, and salt is very purifying and protecting. So anything or anyone in your life right now, do a meditation in your mind and cast them into the ocean's waters. And it's interesting because the death card is astrologically aligned with the sun sign Scorpio, and right now the sun is in Capricorn. And I've always said that Scorpio and Capricorn have a lot of similarities. Even if you look at the names of each of those two signs, they sound similar. Scorpio, Capricorn, and they have a lot of the similar letters too. So anything or anyone that is toxic, that's negative, that's problematic in your life, do a meditation, do a visualization either today or tomorrow, and just cast them into the ocean's waters. Let that situation, let that relationship, let that person be cleansed, be enveloped in that purifying, protecting salt water, so that that situation or that person is purified, and you are purified of it, him, her, them, and it's also protecting you. Card number 2, what you must leave behind in 2019. And I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of this card as well. And I'm showing you first, because I don't know what it is yet. Did you do a close-up? Thank you. You must leave behind any lingering fears. You must leave behind anything... Sorry. I don't have cue cards with my awesome audiovisual person. And I have not mastered telepathy with him when I'm on camera. So I was like, you don't do that. As I was saying, you must leave behind any and all lingering fears. You must leave behind anything that you feel you can no longer do, anything you feel that you cannot do, anything you feel that it's too late for you to do. And it's funny because I had a similar thought recently. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that I'm less than 2 weeks away from my 50th birthday, and there are certain things that I haven't accomplished yet, and I thought by now I would have manifested them. So I think now more than ever it's imperative that we leave behind that stuff. That gunk, as one of my favorite people on the planet, the Michelle Swan Graham, also known as Swan of Dreamers, would say. Leave behind that gunk. You don't need to bring it into 2020, 2021, 2025, 2029. You don't need to bring it behind. You don't need to bring it with you anymore. It's like it served its purpose, and it's like, okay, thank you for sharing. You told me what you needed to tell me. You protected me when I felt that I needed extra protection, and now you can go. Card number 3, the biggest challenge for you and us in 2020 is, and I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up. You're nodding your head, but you're not doing a close-up. Is that because they can see the card clearly? You're sure? Okay, because I can barely tell what it is, but that's from the lights. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the biggest challenge of 2020 for many of us. It is the 6 of Swords. And it's so funny because earlier, my awesome audiovisual person and I were spending time with our mutual friend Will, and it just so happens that one of the topics of conversation was people that are moving, like people that are changing residences from where they live now to where they're going to be living. And it's so funny because, you know, I distinctly remember approximately 2 years ago, I had surrendered and released all of my attachments to my current residence, and I wound up not moving. And now I have a feeling that things are happening that are preparing me to actually move into my new residence, which is wild because I've lived in my current residence for more than 20 years. So it's sort of like, getting used to a new dwelling will take some time. So now I need to especially address my New York City clients and my New York City friends and loved ones, because a lot of you go crazy when this comes up in your readings with me. So you do not have to move. You do not have to move. The opportunity will present itself, and you can either say yes or you can say no. You can accept it, you can decline it, you can counteroffer it. You can counteroffer it, but do not feel that you absolutely must move. If you move, you move. If you don't, you don't. But I do feel that the opportunity will arise. Now, I normally look at this card as a change of personal residence, meaning that where you live now, where you share where you have your life, your home, and your bed, whether you have it by yourself or with animals or with people and animals, my feeling is that that's an opportunity to change. That might be your biggest challenge, but it could easily be your professional residence. So some of you may change positions of employment. Some of you may change positions of employment between January and June of 2020, as a matter of fact. Some of you may relocate. Maybe your company is going to relocate from, let's say, California to New York. That might happen. And the opportunity may present itself. And again, it doesn't mean that you must. It doesn't mean that you are obligated. It just means that the opportunity will present itself. But I feel that any changes of residence, any opportunities to relocate with your company, any opportunities to change positions of employment will occur between January through June of 2020. And specifically between January 3rd, I'm hearing in my mind, January 3rd, which is a Friday, and June 17th, which I don't know what day of the week that is, of 2020. And the greatest blessing of 2020 is, my awesome audiovisual person is this upright, and they can see the card without a close-up. Thank you. And it is the Temperance card. You know, it's so funny because several of you have a very strong kinship with Archangel Michael, who is traditionally depicted on the Temperance card. So one of the greatest blessings that we will experience in 2020 is divine protection, which makes me especially happy because, as some of you know, I needed to reverse a hex that I did not realize initially was on me. And then some other fool was being too stupid and was trying to hex me. And I'm like, oh, really, again? I wield the power of the hex. Do you really want to hex me? Do you really want to try to hex me? By the way, they got thwarted. You know, thwarted in the sense that I took, like, metaphorically speaking, I took like a hammer and clocked them on the head with it. So divine protection, and also temperance is a word that, if memory serves, means balancing between doing too much of something and doing too little of something else. So I feel that there's going to be a great deal more harmony and balance in our lives with regards to professional activity, personal enjoyment, sexual energy, spiritual energy, spending time by ourselves, spending time with loved ones. And I also feel there's going to be an increase in the things that we need to do more often for our souls and our minds. So meditation, prayer, journal writing, visualization, ritual work, spellcraft, cultural events, reading books, attending plays, musicals, attending other kinds of cultural events. So there's going to be a balance of all those things. I also feel that there's going to be an increase, but not an overt, or not an overwhelming increase in physical activity. So we're going to be exercising more, we're going to be moving our bodies more, and you know, I've never been a fan of exercise, but I've come to appreciate movement. I've come to appreciate dancing more. I've come to appreciate walking more. I've come to appreciate climbing stairs more. And now I actually go out of my way to walk more. Now, mind you, I live on the 6th floor of my apartment building, so I'm not climbing 6 flights of stairs. I probably could, and I think at the very least climbing two or three flights of stairs at least 3 days a week would be good for me. But that's just for me. For you, it may be something else. And the final message card for this reading for 2020 is the Two of Cups. So one of the traditional meanings of the Two of Cups is romance, as in the beginning of a romantic relationship. Now here's what I'm getting from this card in particular with regards to all of us collectively. So those of us who need to do more inner work to physically manifest a long-lasting functional, fulfilling, and devoted romantic relationship are going to do the inner work. In fact, I'm going to say it like this: the great goddess is going to insist that we do the inner work that's necessary for those of us that need to do more inner work so that we can physically manifest that healing, devoted, long-lasting, functional, fulfilling romantic relationship, or what I would call a divine romance. That's number one. For those of you who are already in a fulfilling romantic relationship, if not a divine romance, then an opportunity to expand that romantic relationship will come in 2020. When I say expand, it could mean the addition of that family unit, whether, let's say, to use a traditional heteronormative model, a man and a woman who have a child, or who have more than one child. Or it could be, if you are open to having a polyamorous relationship, somebody coming into your already existing romantic relationship and becoming, I love the term triad, but I've heard the term throuple, which is a three-way couple, or a couple of three. You get what I'm saying? So that's also a possibility. And of course, don't be too surprised if people that you have been reluctant to forgive, you finally forgive. Now, please understand that I only forgive people for purely selfish reasons. I don't forgive anybody because it might benefit them. I forgive people because of how it benefits me. And that serves me very well. And as far as I'm concerned, based on everything that I've read about forgiveness, whether it's in a book written by Dr. Catherine Ponder, or whether it's another book by another author, or whether it's a blog post on a website, for me, forgiveness is how I can bring more blessings into my life. And that's how I always look at it. Because when I am more forgiving of myself and others, I sleep better, I sleep more deeply, I manifest more money. That money that I manifest lasts longer. I have more clients, I have more students, I laugh more, I enjoy food more, I enjoy beverages more, I enjoy every moment of my life more. So any of you that have been reluctant to forgive someone, don't forgive them, forgive them for you. Forgive them for you. Ask yourself, how would I benefit from forgiving this person, or forgiving this organization, or forgiving this institution, or forgiving this collective of people? Don't look at it like, well, I have to forgive them. No, you don't. You don't have to forgive any motherfucker. There is no gun to your head. You don't have to forgive anyone. I invite you, and this is what I'm being divinely guided to tell you, I invite you to choose to forgive other people because of the enormous mountain of blessings that will manifest in your life, not because of how it will benefit them. They're not writing you a letter saying, listen, I was a fuckface, and I know that I'll never be able to make it up to you, but here's $1,000 so that maybe one day you can think of me as less of a fuckface for how I fucked you over. Sincerely yours. That's not going to happen. That's a lovely fantasy. That's a delicious fantasy. That's not happening anytime soon. I should know. I've been waiting for ex-lovers to send me that kind of letter with $1,000 in cash. Sometimes it's $100 bills, sometimes it's 20 and 50s. But I have yet to receive that. Believe me, I would love that. I would love that. You know how much cookies and cream I could buy with that? Not that I buy cookies and cream all the time, but... And by the way, note to my awesome audiovisual person, the next time we do grocery shopping together, we are buying cookies and cream ice cream, because I have not had some in ages. Anyway, so, and, be open to the possibility of you having a deeper, more loving relationship with yourself in 2020. You know, what have you not been giving yourself? What have you not been doing for yourself lately? I have not been to a bookstore in far too long, independent or chain. And that's one thing that I am looking forward to doing before my birthday. And I am definitely going to do it before my birthday. And I cannot wait. So with that being said, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you to all of you who have availed yourselves of my psychic services in 2019. Thank you to those of you who are going to avail yourselves of my psychic services in 2020 and beyond. And thank you for those of you who have opened some wonderful new doors for me. I wish you a 2020 and a holiday season and a now and an always for you and yours, with love, life, money, and magic. And good night.